Okay, so today we're going to focus on what is called point slope form. So this is a little bit different from slope intercept form. And the first thing we're going to start with is graphing the line, which this is very similar to what we did before. The only difference is instead of starting at the y-intercept, you're going to start at the point they give you. Okay, so here's your information. Slope equals -1, and then you have 2, -2. So when you're starting at the point, you're going to start at 2, -2. Remember that the first one is always the x coordinate, and then the second one is the y. So we're going to go over 2 on x, and then we're going to go down -2 on y. So go ahead and plot that point for me. That's step 1. So 2, -2. And then just like we did before, we're going to use the slope to find the next point. Now, if you have a whole number, it says slope is -1, so we're going to use m. Do you guys remember what the bottom number is if you have a whole number? We always make it into a fraction. What goes on the bottom? What do you think? Yep, 1. Okay, so this is the rise over the run. So the -1 means you're going down, and then this means you're going to the right. Keep in mind, this is negative. So if it's negative from left to right, it should be going down. So if I go down 1 and then right 1, I'm going to be here. Now, if you keep doing that, can you guys see where these points end up? If it's -1, do you see how it's always going to be on your corners there? And then you can also go the opposite. So if you go down and right, you can also do the reverse, which is you can go up, but then you have to go left. Okay, and then like I said, this is always going to be your corner. So if you have 1 or -1, that's pretty simple to do. And then we are going to connect those points. Okay, and that's going to be your line. Okay, so I want you to do B. So you're going to graph your point, xy, -5, 3. And then if your slope is positive, you're going to go up and right. Okay, so plot that on there. Okay, so it seemed like several of us had some issues just plotting the -5, 3. So the reason why I put the x and the y above is so that when I'm looking for the x, I'm going to go over -5. So you can tell which is the negatives. They're labeled here, but also anything that's to the left of this 0, 0 point is where you are going to be plotting your line. So if it's negative, we're going to go over -5, and then y is positive, so I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be my starting point. Okay, so let's make sure we have our starting point in, this is called quadrant 2, if you remember from our earlier stuff, and then we're going to go 3 up, because it's positive and positive, so 2 right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, that's where the next point's going to go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, and then if we want to find more points, we can always do the reverse. So the reverse would be going down, but then you have to go left. So if I go 1, 2, 3 down, then I'm going to go left 1, 2. And then 1, 2, 3 down, left 1, 2. Okay, and then I'm going to connect those points. I like using my straight edge to connect them. Okay. And then again, if you see that your slope is positive, just make sure that from left to right, it's going to be going up. Here from left to right, it's going to be going down. Okay? All right, so now we're going to learn a new form. This is called point slope form. Okay? So it starts with y minus, so I want you to put this in the box, y minus, I'm going to color code mine a little bit. So y minus y1 equals m. So y minus y1 equals m. And then in parentheses, we have x minus. So this is going to go in parentheses. This is x1. Okay, and remember, we've seen x1 and y1 before. We've labeled x1 and y1 when we were finding the slope. We had x1, y1, and x2, y2. For this, all you need are two things. You need the m. What does m stand for? What is the m? Slope. Yep. Okay, so you have to have the slope of the line. The other thing you have to have is a point. Now, the point, we're going to label x1, y1. Okay, so you have to have a point, and you have to have the slope. All right, and then the first thing we're going to do today is we're just going to be plugging this in. So we have a slope, and then we have a point that we're going to plug into this equation. So it says to write the equation in point slope form. Okay, so if it says point slope form, write the equation in point slope form for the line with the given slope that contains the given point. Notice if it says write an equation, your answer is going to be an equation. I'm going to try to lock this in and see if it... Oh, goodness. Okay, so whenever you get your slope and whenever you get your point, we are going to label those. Okay? Are we having fun yet? I got a new dot cam. As you can see, we're getting along very well. All right, I'm going to do another one for this.